So many companies ask me, what do they have to do if they have found that workers' documents are being withheld by their suppliers? So let me share with you, a practical experience we've had working for an international company and their supplier in India. While doing the worker interviews and engagement, it was found out that some workers commented their national identity cards are being withheld by their contractors. When this information reached this company, which is an international company based out of North America, there were like alarm bells ringing in that company. And I remember the company managers calling me, the legal department calling me, and they said this is a very serious issue for the company. And this would also could be labeled as forced labor, but there are internal company protocols where these alarm bells start ringing inside the company, and the company has to do something about it. So what option did the company have? The company, mentioned that they want to send a legal notice to the supplier about this issue which is happening on the ground and want to investigate more on why these issues are happening. So because we were working with the supplier to improve situation on the ground, I recommended some solutions to this issue. One was that to understand more about what kind of documents are being withheld and in what nature are they being withheld, and is it for the whole factory, every worker, or is it a few workers or a group of workers or a particular type of worker? And that's what we did. So thankfully, the company gave us this opportunity to go and engage with the supplier, and we went on the ground again. So I was there on the ground. I spoke to the procurement person, HR person, the person who deals with contractors, and this is what we got to know. The procurement said that the procurement and human resource people said, this can never happen in our factory. Like, we have policies, we have procedures, this can never happen. So, I think some workers are lying. That was the thing it came out as. We obviously showed them the result. And when I looked into the data more closely, I realized that only two workers out of like hundreds of workers had commented on this. And then we sat together and said, let's find out what is happening. And we realized that actually the contractor was withholding the national identity card, which is Aadhaar card in India, of these workers. They were new workers, and it was needed to regularize their provident fund and give them more provision which the government provides. It is done temporarily and it is returned back to the workers. We also realize that workers can easily get a duplicate Aadhaar card, so it's not that if they have given it to the contractor, then it's gone forever. Thirdly, we realize that it's all online these days. The national identity system in India works uh, in an online manner with a number. You don't need a physical card at times, and so we realized that, and we also realized there is a gap in the system. So we said, let's get together. So I said to the suppliers, we need to solve this. And I asked the suppliers themselves, what would you like to do to solve this? They come up with some brilliant ideas, by the way. I was really impressed by the way they addressed the situation. So the human resource person said, let's call all the contractors and train them on the requirements we have of not withholding any documents or the original documents of workers. That's what they did. They spoke to all the contractors. Every contractor was given very clear instructions. They did something more, and they also took an undertaking from all contractors that no document will be withheld, and if they're withholding anything at this point, will be returned to the workers immediately. So that was a great thing to do. And so we addressed this thing at a system level. What we realized was sometimes, when something small happens at a supplier level, maybe one or two incidents, there is a tendency of all the alarm bells and panic happening in the system, because obviously this is quite a critical thing. It could lead to forced labor and liabilities on the company. But the issue on the ground was actually very different than how it looked like. And it was done in a particular way, and that practice had to be changed, systems had to be improved. And so this was a great learning, in the project. I'm very happy that the company was open to looking at it in a different way. The suppliers, gave very good ideas practically what could work on the ground. And we came up with a great learning that, there is a way to engaging topics like withholding of original documents of workers, and training of contractors, because this happens a lot at contractor level. I have another story which is of withholding passports, which happened in the Middle East. I'll bring that up in another episode, and also speak to one of my friend in Germany about the upcoming legislation on forced labor. I will cover these in the upcoming episodes. I hope you like this. If you're facing a similar challenge, or if you faced it, you solved it in a different way, please like or comment, and please share your experiences as well. If you'd like to hear about a particular topic related to suppliers, please let me know. I'm happy to pick it up from our experience. And I'll be back soon with another story from the field. And good luck to your programs and what you do.